Morning, it's Fred back on the George Elmy with an update on how we are getting along. We've now had our second engine delivered. That's in and bolted down. We've just got these coolers for the gearbox to fit on. Then there's the header tanks, and then we'll get the water system in. These are the top sections for the seacock for the filters, so the water supply will come from them to the engine. We've got a toolbox they've acquired from somewhere. That's in. Lubrication system for the two stern tubes are oil filled. We've got that in. There's just a pipe to connect between the two. Exhaust systems ready to be clipped on now. We've got the engine fastened down, and things are going quite well in the engine room. Bar the piping, few hoses to connect up to either side of the cooler and a bracket made to support that. Once that's on, that's a major bit out of the way. Then the canopy's getting very close. That will be lifted on. If we move up to our forward end here, we've got a new mast step has been constructed. That's been made up in stainless, then we'll not have any rust problems with that. The piece which is going to take the base of the large bollard, that's been made up. We're just waiting of getting the bollard in. If we come a little bit closer this way, you can see the lads have now got in position the handrails and the light boxes. They're bolted down now, and there's just a few bits of filler on the top have to be dressed off. When they are dressed off, and then we'll get them painted over, and then that's the final finish on the deck. It's had its second coat, but obviously we've got a dusty environment. The wind blows up the slipway quite wild the last few weeks, and it lifts the dust up, and we'll have a bit bother getting rid of it. The fittings that Ernie was busy with on the handrails, they've all now been cut and welded up, and they are a way to get galvanised, so that'll be the next thing to be fit on. And if we pan up to aft, your handrails, these are on fit and done now, and there's a stop rail goes on there which takes the two ropes come across here to a bollard. That's for lifting your rudder up and down. We've had some more varnish on here, and the seats are now finished. We've got a bit of an old jumper on here just to try and stop wear and tear on it as we're coming in the boat. But if you have a general look around the boat now, we've got a good few coats on the varnish. So our next job for the lads will be creating some more of these buoyancy blocks, and we'll get them covered up and a coat of gel on. And then canopy on, and then we're looking really close. So we're getting there. We've had a final coat of gloss on here. This shows you where it's here, but it was only finished off last night, so it all has to be masked off all the way around. It's a bit of a pain to do it, but it has to be done. But when it comes off, it gives you a nice neater job. So that's all the way around there. It's got to be stripped off, but Bill's done that for me. He's done a good job of it. Very nice. Looks nice and shiny. When it tapes off, and then you can see better the contrast, but it looks a bit raggy when all the tape's on, but it serves its purpose. Right, here we've got this hanging here because it's just been painted. We'll put a strop on there so we can paint everything around in one go. But this is constructed out of 1.5 inch oak. There is, as well as the fittings on here, there is two bolts going all the way through there, two stainless bolts, and the joints in between have had biscuit jointers in just to hold them steady with the glue as well. But that's a nice job there. So that's ready to go on the boat next. As we look on here, we've got the sign writer has now finished his gold leaf on the letters, and he's put his black shadowing in on the back, which really makes them stand out. He's progressing quite well with the flag, but obviously there's that many colours involved, he has to do it in stages. He's now got to put some shadowing on the flag, and then there's a crown and an anchor goes on the front. The crown is going to be the King's crown. The modern ones have the Queen's crown, but as this was pre-coronation, it's going to have a George crown on it. So there'll be a nice crown in the front, and that's on both sides. But there's a lot of work in doing that. There's a few coats of paint to get it to what we need. But he'll be back in next week to finish that. Right, well, we're back upstairs. We're back on our canopy. We've got this small area here now to finish with our second layers of timber, and it's done. Again, our cramps are working absolutely brilliant. This one here is just being steamed. Once it's fit to the back edge, then we'll cut it to width. You always start with your boards slightly wider, because as it comes around the shape of the board, it can finish up with a curve in, and again, if you try to do it with a parallel board, it'll finish up narrow. So you steam it slightly bigger, make sure it's fit, and then cut it down to your final size. So this one's just been bent about 10-15 minutes ago, so that's cooling down. So that's the next one to fit. So we've got this little bit here, but I think we've only got about 4 to do of full length ones, and then we'll run into the short ones. And then we'll be finished with the rubber, and we might get our hands clean. Now we're inside the canopy to our final stages. We've got all of our templates out. There's only one timber former left in here. This is behind the actual level that we're going to cut, but it's just to keep this corner into shape. But now we've got all our templates out, you can see the size of the canopy inside, and you can see all the nails. There's approximately 2,500 clenches gone in on here through all the doubles, and there's the same on that side. So I reckon we've got about another 350 nails to go on that side, and that's the finish of the clenching. As I say, they're good, but when you're up here upside down, they take a bit longer than what they would be doing on an ordinary boat, just over the side. But it's looking very good now. So once we get these few planks on, nails hardened up and filled in, we'll then cut this to shape. It sort of comes as a round, and then there's a cut out across here, comes out to the stringers, and that's where the windscreen moulding will be fit onto the canopy top. When that's braced across the top, that'll stiffen it all up. But this is, we should get our last ones of boards on by Saturday. So this is the biggest part of the job that's left. And then we'll have some lockers to construct, and then we're looking very, very close. But we're getting there. But it's getting various fittings and stuff like that over the years. They've all disappeared off it when it was a lifeboat, and there's some aluminium fittings and little doors and stuff like that which we can't get. There's just nobody doing it, and to try and save on getting foundry made and stuff like that, we'll have a drone, but they would have to make a template former and then make the mould and then do the casting, which runs quite expensive. So we're doing a little bit of cheating again. Here's a little tip for anybody who wants to use a product. Modern stuff, new white nylon, and we'll have some here. Basically what we'll have is this drawing. It's a hatch with recessed holes in it for strength, and that'll fit in a bulkhead, then it'll be removed. Now to get that, what we've done is a little bit of cheating. It's a piece of plastic, just the right thickness for half of it. We'll laminate it into 2 bits. Now rather than pay silly money for lumps of plastic, this is a chopping board from IKEA, £1 each. So always be on the lookout for materials, have your eyes open and see what there is available, and it'll do the product. The beauty of this is, with it being the nylon, when we cut all of these out, if it was plywood, we'd be left with short grain, and the modern plywoods are not a very good quality at all. They tend to delaminate the grains and stuff like that. But with this bit of nylon in and then a coat of paint, you'll not see it. So what we've done is, we've drilled holes in the corners, and then we've jigsawed it out. couple of lines in, then we'll have the moulding tool put in my router. That'll then go around there, and then we'll cut it out and we'll do the outside edge. We've stuck that in the corner. We will get a second piece off, but not that shape. We've kept it deliberately over there, and we've left the last cut till the last minute. Then it gives you a much bigger board for to cramp down on your bench and make it safer for you. If you'd cut it into a little piece, you would have been struggling to get a cramp on it. The cramps would have been in your way. So by having it on the bench like that, that can be cramped down there, and we've got a lot of room to work here without coming into conflict with your router and cramps. So that'll be cut out, then the second piece will go on the back. So there's another tip. God bless IKEA. Right, so I think we're about it for the day. Still using my steamer. What tubes of stuff are lying about here, but they're lying about here discreetly because we've found out they work much better when they're warm. So we're just leaving them lying by the steamer. That only takes 10 minutes to warm up, and then the planks are in for 15 minutes. So it warms the product up just nice. Comes out the gun a lot easier. You can control it better when you're not fighting against the handles of the mastic gun. So that's looking very good now. So this is it for the day. So hopefully the next time you see, well, it might be doing a film of the boat dropping into the water. So we can but hope. But we're getting very, very close. Okay, thank you.